Hello, welcome to Live Loot Lore. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial for the Business and Hobbies feature where you can enter paint mode within the tattoo section and make your own custom tattoos. When you enter the paint mode, you have a window to the right that has all of your tools in one panel. And we're going to start by talking about the color wheel. You can use this to choose a rainbow of colors. You use the first bar to the right to choose the shade of color you want, and then the farmost bar to choose the opacity of that particular color. You can adjust the transparency of the color, and you have beneath the color wheel a selection of pre-selected swatches, so you can choose from those to create your tattoo. And beneath that there is the brush, eraser, eyedropper, and fill tool. The eyedropper tool you can use to select your sim's skin tone and make minute adjustments from there to get various shading effects if you so choose. And next to the color wheel is the actual swatch. And if you want a swatch different from the pre-selected ones beneath the color wheel, you can choose to either mess around with the hue, saturation, and brightness to get what you want, or you can type in the actual hex code of your particular shade to get exactly what you want. So beneath the tool palette, there's the brush size. You can adjust the size of the brush as well as its rotation to customize the brush even further by using the sliders to drag it larger or smaller and change the angle. My favorite brushes are the second, third, and fourth. They're round brushes for doing your lines and basic shading depending on the edges you want for your custom tattoo. It's like the simple hard round or soft round brush in Photoshop. Here I'm showing you the transparency, so you can go from dark to light, and in using the lighter opacity you can build up your color to your desired shade. So since the custom tattoo feature doesn't have layers in it, you can kind of fake your layers by just slowly building up your sketch. You start with rough outlines and then build up from there. And that can help create the illusion of depth and dimension. So for the opacity, you can use it to build up your color and create whatever kind of shading you want to, as well as when you choose a particular opacity, even if you change the color itself, say green to blue or pink, it'll remain at that same level of transparency, so you can still have very light sheerness for any color you choose. And so you can change the size of the stamps. Some of them are more useful for making, say, a fur texture. The stamps can be used with any color or opacity, but the stamps that already have predetermined colors, like the plum bob or the rose, you can't make a blue rose or a pink one. You can only change the opacity of that particular stamp. The fill tool can be used to make negative or black work style tattoos, and next to the color wheel you can also choose the reverse button, which will clear everything you've done instead of undoing it step by step at the bottom of your screen. So if you do something on her back and you don't like it, you can completely remove it. And the stencils can be completed much faster by simply using the fill tool, or you can use a brush to get some kind of gradient within the stencil. I do have some tips. If you find that you can't get the level of detail you want in your custom tattoo with a mouse, you may want to switch to using a tablet. And another tip I have is if you have Windows Ink enabled, on your computer, you may want to turn it off because it does, at least for my computer, it makes the lines dot, as you can see. So you have to create your lines very, very slowly in order to avoid that. And so you can minimize this effect by simply turning off Windows Ink. And also, instead of using a mouse, you can switch to using a tablet. So now that we've covered the basics, I'm going to get into creating a tattoo for this particular sim. She was featured in my last video, and her name is Marigold or Goldie. And I chose to give her a tattoo where I keep the lines fine enough so they look thin without looking blurry, that it looks poorly. I didn't particularly feel like it suited Marigold to have a really heavy chest tattoo, and the flowers featured are a tulip and a marigold because her name is Marigold. Tulips in The Sims kind of represent loyalty, and her husband has a similar tattoo featuring tulips, so they don't exactly have matching tattoos, but it's close. It's a collar style that wraps around her collarbones and back. I did use a guideline before I got started to make drawing this easier and making sure that everything was properly aligned. Since it's a more collar style tattoo, the texture, you can't just, go from the chest to the upper back in one go. You have to connect them. So I used that blue guideline to make sure that when I was drawing, I didn't have the left side uneven and not match the back. I do the line work and then erase the guideline as I go. And I did make a quick sketch of this so I knew what I wanted to do. So that's something I highly suggest unless you want to just go at it freehand. That's perfectly fine, of course. But it just kept me more sure of my lines and where I was going with it, and not making errors. Speaking of errors, don't forget to save. You can do that either by exiting out of the paint mode and using the save tattoo feature, or going up to the top right corner where you can save household. I actually suggest saving the household because I found, especially when I had Master Command Center in my game, it would crash sometimes during saving. At the time I tested it, that could be different now and not be a problem, but I would say if you're going to make your tattoo, give yourself the best chance and just take it out and then put the mod back in when you're done. That's my basic tutorial and showcase. I have more tips, so let me know if you'd like to hear more about them. I hope you enjoyed the video and that it helped clear up any confusion with the tool in The Sims. And if you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching.